Hey guys, HW. Long intro this morning. Back in old Sydney town for another vid. I thought it was time for a good old fashioned walk around again. Get around the traps. It's going to be 29 degrees Celsius in Sydney today. We're having a warm spring. Got some higher temperatures next week as well. So far so good. Maybe we won't get the wet summer that they're talking about. Maybe it'll be dry. If you haven't been to my if you haven't been to my channel before, I'm a Sydney local, and I like to do walking videos around Sydney with commentary. I fell in love with these sort of videos myself back in the Pando days of 2020 and onwards, and in particular I really liked when locals added a bit of commentary to the videos, so that's what I try to do myself. So let's get around some of the main traps in Sydney today and see what's going on. I'll probably stop in a few spots to get some shorts for my other channel as well, which is called Sydney Ground Up. It is school holidays in Sydney at the moment, so we will see a lot of kiddies around, and there'll be less office workers because some of them will be off on holidays. But nonetheless, there should be a bit of action about to look around, and the wind. We can look up at these flags up here. The wind's currently from the northwest at 6 kilometers an hour. And when the wind comes from the northwest, you know what that means? That means the flies get blown in from the farms. So we should see, should get pestered by a lot of flies on the walk today, unfortunately. But we'll see how we go. So it's just gone past 10 a.m. It's actually 10:05 to be exact, on a Friday morning in Sydney. So anyone that's come into the office is already in the office, so we won't see them walking around. Might see a few grabbing coffees. And then probably sometime in the next hour or so we'll start to see some shoppers descend on the city and get into the various shopping malls. On the corner over there of King and George, where used to stand the Darrell chocolate company store, and then after that Telstra. It's been taken over by the Mont Blanc company. It's still under construction. I thought it'd be finished by now. I will go up here. I'm gonna have to have a coffee. I haven't had a coffee yet. So we'll head up King Street, and I've got a bit of a hankering to get back into Skittle Lane. Let's go check out Skittle Lane, see if that's open, and we'll grab a coffee there. Forbes Hotel across the road, they're still all boarded up. Hotel CBD getting ready to welcome the Friday drinkers in for their lunchtime sherbets. Remind me telepathically through the video to have a look to see if that that Asian eatery in the Grace Hotel is still open when we walk past after coffee. And if you do it, it will work because all time's happening at once. If we're to believe all of the theories on time. Multi-dimensions. Come the fireys. Probably check on a fire alarm in one of the office buildings. Yes, Skittle Lane is open. Let's get it.
But yeah, I suppose
Bit crowded though. Flat white to take away?
It's a regular size?
Yeah.
Just regular. Can I grab your name as well?
James?
6 days. Regular.
Oh, the flat white has been acquired. We're not far from Darling Harbour. Let's get down there and drink it. Look, there's a ghost just there. Getting around booking people. Wow, as far as I know, that's not a building that I've paid attention to before. An old post office on the corner of Sussex and King Street. I assume Queen Victoria on that head on the keystone there. Did I mention this coffee from Skittle Lane is absolutely delightful? I was just about to say a garbage bin or trash can would be a delight right now, and there's one right there. It goes the lice. Man, oh. Looks like he's looking for people to book as well. Getting down here on the water should give me a pleasant breeze and an equally pleasant outlook. Mind you, I forgot my dead cat today, so if the breeze picks up, we might pick that up on the mic. Well, I can't get any closer to the water than this without falling in. I can see an American Airlines plane over there in the distance. Now, I'd normally say that it's taking off from that direction, but I've got a feeling it's probably waiting to land. Might turn around here and come back over the harbour bridge, and which they sometimes do to give the punters a view. I could be wrong, it might have been taking off. I'll check the flight schedules later. The other good bit of news is I was looking for a spare battery, or a couple of spare batteries for the GoPro camera over the last couple of weeks, and because I've got a GoPro 10, it's been superseded by so many newer models that it's hard to get the batteries now. They're starting to be pretty scarce. And I found one at a local game exchange place that sells old gaming consoles and cameras and all that sort of equipment like that. So I went in to grab it, and it turned out it wasn't the battery that I was looking for. But while I was there, the guy got under the counter and pulled out some other GoPro batteries, and they turned out to be the Enduro ones, which are supposed to be a bit more robust in different conditions, especially cold and heat. So I've got one of those in the camera today, so hopefully that'll give us a bit more camera time. Those AIA flags up the top, which is an insurance company, they're making a racket flapping around. Music on the Madame Tussauds museum. Got to try to counteract that. Yeah, here's all the tourist haunts. The aquarium and the museum and the wildlife park. I've got to get out of here and get back into the guts of the city. Let's get up Market Street. I was going to walk across the bridge there, start filming there as I came out of Darling Harbour, but there's a busker standing there. I didn't want to pick up his music as I walked past. How the hell do buskers make money these days when nobody's carrying cash around? Or very few people anyway. I doubt somebody's going to trust just a busker on the street to take an electronic donation. Probably some do, but don't worry, I heard you. I heard you remind me to go back and check if that eatery's open in the Grace Hotel. Thank you for passing those signals through. Look at these specials here. $7.50 coffee and toast. Coffee and bacon egg roll, $10. That's all right. They got cakes in cling wrap though. That's a big turn off for me. If I'm going to buy a cake, I want it to be fresh. I don't want it from the day before or the day even before that in cling wrap in an attempt to keep it moist. No thanks. I'm on Clarence Street if you're wondering. About to hit the intersection at King. We might go in the back entrance of the Grace Hotel on Clarence Street to see if the eatery's open. We'll see it firsthand. There used to be a coffee shop just inside the door as well. I don't know whether it's still there. Yes, it is. It is still there. There it is. Yeah, the Asian eatery's still here. Getting ready for lunchtime. I used to like getting the beef rendang in there. Successfully sneaked through the foyer of the Grace Hotel onto York Street. Tell you what, there's a lot of tourists getting around today. I'd say most of them are interstate travellers who have come from other states of Australia. They'll be in ascendancy, but of course there'll be some from Asia as well. And this old coffee shop here that I go to a bit, 77 King, it's got a big queue out the door as well. There's money in coffee if you can do the work, if you can do the early mornings and the late nights doing the books.
Why is it so cold?
Few punters emerging from the Strand Arcade. I love the Strand Arcade. I've mentioned that a few times before. So many memories there. just took a quick squeeze down Temperance Lane there. I didn't train the camera down there because there was a guy standing there smoking. Originally, I had plans today to come in really early. And I was going to grab a coffee here at Hustle. I know it opens pretty early in the morning, about 5 o'clock or 5:30. But then I had to change a plan, and I'm unencumbered by the human construct of time. So I can just get around and take it easy. Being treated by a lice on a bike as well. There he goes. I'm going to get on the shady side. Oh, kids' stuff still going. Those toy shops used to be everywhere. She's happy with her messages, that lady. Walking along, arm packed with shopping bags. That's what my grandparents used to call shopping. They used to call it messages. I assume that harks back to the days when they'd go to the telegraph office to pick up their messages. Although it was probably even before their time, it was probably their parents that used to say it. There's something that's stuck. See a big tour group across the road there under the Queen Victoria statue, getting ready to go on their walk.
Just have a point.
For some kids, it's probably the last day of the holidays. That's why there'll be a lot more people walking around with their kids as well. Tell you what, I can't believe it's October. I thought last year went fast. What about this year? There's batch coffee going over there. Got a few people waiting in line. Be interesting to see how they go once the grounds opens up right next to them. I see that tunnel there. We're on Pitt Street. See the walkway in between the two buildings there. Let's go and check out the, I assume it's boarded up, but I want to check anyway. See, we're in Piccadilly Mall at the moment, and there's the bridge out the window. And you can see the entrance just there, but it's not open anymore. He used to head from the shopping centre here to the monorail station. But those days are long gone. Smack bang under Sydney Tower. Hate saying that. I still call it Centrepoint Tower. Get out of the way of this guy pushing the bananas along. And see a couple of clouds up in the sky through the clearing there. Supposedly there's not going to be any cloud tomorrow. It's going to be totally clear. but a bit warmer. I think it's going to be another 2 degrees warmer. So much police in the city today. Seen them on bikes, seen them on motorbikes, seen them in paddy wagons, utes. They're everywhere. Yes, it's nice walking along this part of Castle Ray Street. The breeze blowing on me. Tell you what, I'm already impressed with these Enduro GoPro batteries. They're a lot better than the standard ones. If it was one of my standard ones, it would have overheated by now. I was swiveling my head around thinking that I was on Pitt Street, but I'm on Castle Ray. I've got to remind myself. See, look, there's yet another police van in front of us. Oh, and there they are, standing over there. Here we go. Here's a bit of a news item for you. So, given the spike in gold prices, have a look at the punters trying to cash in. They're all bringing their coins in and their little ingots, is that what you call them, in to get weighed and get paid. Look at them, look at the queue. The amusing thing is they cash them in, cash them into currency that gets burnt pretty quickly with the inflation that we got. Instead, they should do what the rich do and take a loan against it. I'm guessing the gold price may go down if they do manage to get peace in the Middle East. But it goes up and down, so invest at your own risk. Matrix Fountain getting clean today. Almost back where we started, or where I joined the video anyway, just in this little area over here. This little collection of shrubs here. I'll take one last squeeze at George Street. Then I've got to get around and do a few shorts.
Puts up with lights. No.
So I'll say goodbye to you here as I stroll down George Street, just checking to see, make sure there's no light rail creeping up on me. That breeze still blowing through the buildings here, quite pleasant. So that's your look into Old Sydney Town today. On Friday, just before lunchtime. Oh, let me check the time. Yeah, it's just coming up to 20 past 11. So thanks for joining me on another vid. I'll see you next time. The video is over.